Sadio Mane was asked leading up to the Champions League final if he'd join Real Madrid. He said, "Good question, but I want to say this right now. I'm fully focused on the Champions League final." Basically, he didn't say no. Is what the main reason of this for. There have been multiple rumours, Matty, and not just random rumours. These are confirmed by some of the biggest journalists in France and Germany. It is basically 100% confirmed that Sadio Mane is talking to Bayern Munich and PSG. It's more closer to Bayern Munich at the moment. He said he can see himself playing. Julian Nagelsmann has said that he wants him in his plans for next season. It has nothing to do with Lewandowski and Gnabry. It's just interest on its own. However, Bild have come out today or yesterday and said that Bayern Munich are ready to pay around 30 million, while Liverpool would be willing to negotiate an offer of around 50 million euros. So around like mid-40s, 43. Matty, that seems, even though he's in his last year of his contract, that seems cheap for an AFCON winner, someone who's still bagging goals. He can play multiple positions. He's 30. We know players can go to 35, 36. But, I think Mane's leaving. If I'm going to be deadly honest, I think he's the one out of the front three who seems like he's happy to say, I've had a great time at Liverpool, but I want to go somewhere else. Now, could you see this coming to fruition?
Yeah, especially Germany as well. He's been in England for a long time. He spent a few years at Southampton before us as well. And I think if we get 43 million for him, I'd be happy with that, considering he's going to the last year of his contract. I think Bayern Munich's more believable than Real Madrid, because why would Real Madrid buy Sadio Mane, a 30-year-old left winger, when they've got Vinny Jr., who's one of the most exciting talents in world football? And then even on the right wing, they've got, now I'm not saying Rodrigo is better than Salah, so the links to that, I'm not rubbishing them links, but in a sense of like, he's a very exciting, again, a Brazilian kid coming through who's pretty much got them into a Champions League final as well. So I don't think Madrid will be looking at him, but I do think Bayern Munich will be looking at Mane. With them losing Gnabry, I think he definitely is going, and they know that. So he is a good replacement for them. And again, he's a winning mentality, experience. And Mane's come from the Red Bull system, which Nagelsmann's used to, so he'll slot right in with them as well. And maybe that's what Nagelsmann wants to do. He wants to build a squad of people who's going to work the way he wants to work. And it looks like there's a big change going on at Bayern, to be fair, losing Gnabry and Lewandowski, and now looks like it's a big overhaul. But I think if we win the Champions League, because he's won the AFCON, we've won the FA Cup, League Cup. If we win the Champions League, he's probably in contention to win a Ballon d'Or. I think you could probably get 60, 70 million if you really wanted. If Liverpool want more money, I think Sadio Mane goes to PSG.
Yeah, I mean, Tino, Bayern Munich, yes, they spend money, but they are also happy to wait for free agents, and they stick to their price. They very rarely go over what they want to do. Could you? I mean, it's crazy to ask, but could you see Liverpool meeting in the middle and saying, 40 million, we could get a replacement with that potentially? It's Klopp has done it multiple times with Diogo Jota, Luis Diaz. He did it with Salah. He did it with Mane. He buys these 30 to 40 million players and builds them up. It's not out of the question that we do this. And Mane's given us 7 years of unbelievable service. He was the first player who really adopted that Jurgen Klopp heavy metal football system, and he's going to go down as a Liverpool legend. Do you think it's time to part ways with him and say thank you very much, Sadio, and appreciate you leaving and giving us a bit of money?
My heart says no, my head says maybe. Like I say, my worry is we won't replace him as well. I know Jurgen's done it multiple times. Sadio goes, we get someone like Jared Bowen, who's fair enough, done absolutely phenomenally this season, double figures for goals and assists for West Ham, and he did brilliant last season as well. But for me, it's a downgrade. You can't lose someone of Sadio Mane's quality and then bring in Jared Bowen. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening. I really, my heart says keep him till the end of his contract. And if he wants to leave on a free transfer, then fair enough. He can go to Bayern after that, or at least do something stupid, or try something stupid like a swap deal for Serge Gnabry. Like, there's no harm in asking if they really want the man.
Yeah, I mean, Jay, I was literally about to ask you about Serge Gnabry because we before this was even discussed, me and Matty and a couple of other people spoke about a potential swap deal with Gnabry and Mane. It was when Mane was going through his rough patch, and both went looking to sign a contract. That is not a bad deal for Liverpool. And we spoke to Florian Plettenberg, Sky Sports Germany reporter, to confirm that a swap deal was on the table. And it's on the table. It's not being discussed, but it hasn't been denied either. That's if would you take a swap deal for Serge Gnabry? He's younger. He's can play again all three positions up front. We could do a lot worse, couldn't we?
I was in that discussion actually. Yeah, thanks a lot, Charlie. That was obviously very memorable. No, I remember me and Matty said that a swap deal wouldn't have been that bad. What we didn't want was to spend 60, 80 million on Gnabry. That's what we didn't want. We didn't want him being the marquee signing. I think if Mane is going, if you're only going to get 45 million for him, you'd have to ask yourself who you can get for 45 million. I think Nkunku's release clause is something like 50, isn't it? 50 or 60?
No, I think Leipzig have come out and said there's no release clause, and
There isn't one.
Yeah, and I think they don't want to sell him, but they'd look at 80 million if it was offered.
80. See, so it's one of them. For me, I do like Gnabry, and he is similar to Mane in terms of he's versatile. And he is young. He's a good player. I wouldn't be, the way I'll put it is, if that happens, I wouldn't be gutted because I think Gnabry is a decent replacement. But I prefer it to get someone like Nkunku because technically, if we sold Mane for 40, 45 mil, you're only spending 40 on Nkunku if he cost 80. I think he's just a better age and profile for what we're going for. I think we'd make him into a superstar. His numbers this season are just pathetic. So that would be my first choice, but I wouldn't be too disappointed if we got Gnabry.
Yeah, I mean, Matty, Tino, I'll bring this to you too. It's looking at age. Gnabry's 4 years younger than him. They play both across the front three. I think Gnabry is mainly a left winger, but he can play on the right. Both of their contracts are up at the end of the season. Liverpool have never really displayed any interest in Gnabry, but Bayern Munich seems to be pushing very hard. Would you prefer the 45 million or a straight swap deal for Serge Gnabry?
I prefer the 45 million, get him Nkunku, like what Jay said. He's younger. I think he can add more to us in the long term than what Gnabry can. And I think he's a little bit more versatile as well. And I think Nkunku can do a job as an attacking midfielder in one of the front three, and he can also do a job as a holding midfielder as well. So he's so versatile. If you did have any injuries and stuff like that, he's dead exciting. And if he's only 80 million, then like Jay said, you're only paying 40 mil for him for a player who's potentially going to be one of the best in the world in a few years. And who better to get that potential out of Nkunku than Klopp? I just don't think I'd bring Gnabry in. I stand by. I do strongly believe Jota was Mane's replacement anyway.
Replacing someone before or they've left is something Liverpool have tried to do anyways. So Jota being Mane's replacement kind of makes total sense. You look at Thiago coming in, Wijnaldum leaving, different style of players, but still essentially one midfielder out, one midfielder in. I would like Serge Gnabry. I think he's a very, very good player, but it has to be Nkunku. Nkunku seems like longer term priority in terms of what Jurgen Klopp would be looking at. It makes total sense to go for Nkunku, especially if you're doing part of the cash from selling Sadio. But realistically, do I think it'll happen? No, if I'm being perfectly honest. I wouldn't be too surprised to see us just sell Mane and then just sort of not replace him because we brought Luis Diaz in January, who was meant to be coming in this summer.
Yeah, the only thing with Nkunku is that 45 million, you'd then have to put another 40 million on top of it, which do I think the club would do? Maybe not, maybe, who knows? I know we've got a good relationship with the Red Bull.
So
yeah.
He's not going to go a year left, hasn't he? Give them Kaiser for Nkunku and 40 mil.
Yeah, the Mane news is going to stick throughout the whole of summer. I don't think he reveals his future. I think he might say he leaves or he stays, but I think there's going to be a lot of clubs battling it out for him.